Too many stories to count, but let's go. So we start out with the police officer, sergeant, mother, who shot and killed her own son when a dispute in the house went wrong between mother and son. Now, everybody is still talking about this case because them I wonder if it's a setup, as in Mummy got angry, kill our son, took it to heart, or was it a true case of the son actually losing his mind, picking up a knife, and attacking his mom? We beat this one to death on Souflotv. We gave our opinions, how we feel about it. A lot of women sided with the mother and said these teenagers nowadays, they're out of control and some of them are unruly and disrespectful and will make you feel like doing something to them in your own house. It's like when they reach a certain age, they decide to take over your house, right? Right. Well, that was one of the top stories of this year, 2023, as we move into 2024. I wish the mother nothing but the best, and our son dead and gone already. Can't say nothing else because that juvenile will never learn from whatever mistakes he made that day that cost him his life. It was a fatal one, and he will have to think about that in the afterlife. Now, as we move on to the next story that was very captivating for 2023, we have to talk about the Jamaican man who killed multiple family members and injured two New York City police cops in the process. This was a clear case of a man who had mental issues and was battling with his demons and had lost a lot recently and just couldn't come to terms with life, right? There is a record out of him having mental breakdowns from before, so it's not like he just got angry and did something to his family. We did this video, and we did this video on purpose just to highlight that mental issue is something that is very real. You know, in our culture, we don't really look at mental illness as something that's very real. People say somebody must obey you. Other people say somebody must put something in your spliff. All these other kind of things. But at the hem of it all, mental health is not taken seriously within the Caribbean community. And as a Jamaican, I can tell you, especially, it's not taken too seriously in Jamaica either. Right? Right. Sad situation. However, the auntie who took him into her house tried to help him. She went as well, and I believe she's doing okay or recovering from her injuries. Now, this particular story right here, the big story, $1 billion in assets seized. The government took everything from him. This was a story about a Jamaican cop who turned drug dealer according to law enforcement in the US and in Jamaica. All that drug stuff with him happened in the US. However, the authorities in the US told the authorities in Jamaica to dig into his background and see how much assets he has there, because they know he was doing good financially in the US, getting illegal money, and he was funneling it into Jamaica. The man owned one bag of things, whole heap of apartment buildings and houses and luxury vehicles and all this stuff. Well, they never stopped until they took away everything from him. Long run, short catch. Kind of like a message and a lesson, you know. A lot of people are saying it's not fair because regardless, he did his crime in the US and he got punished for it in the US, and then he served his time and got deported. So Jamaica should not have taken away his stuff from him because he did no crimes in Jamaica. Taken here nor there. The first day I saw the story, I said they are after everything that he owns because he owns a lot of nice stuff. They're not going to let him walk away with it, right? And they sure did not. Headline this year said they finally seized every single bit of what he had. Now, this story, the Jamaican landlord in New York City who killed his tenants and his girlfriend. It was kind of one of those situations. Him get tired. People living in his place, taking advantage of the laws, not paying any bills, and the bills accumulating on him. His girlfriend was in there teasing him, how him soft, and that's why people use him. And he just killed her too in the process. It was a crazy story. Now, we also did a follow-up to it where we identified the victims that he killed. So if you look at this picture right here, that's him in the white suit, because that's what they put you in when you are charged and it's murder. And then the 3 victims right here are including the one in the middle, which is his girlfriend that was taunting him. Move, you're soft. That's why people use you. And he just took her out as well. Mad story. Again, mental health. Now, this story right here, this Philip Paulwell and Philip Paulwell's 10-month-old daughter and her mom that were kidnapped and tortured and murdered in a domestic dispute, pretty much. Woman fighting over man. Philip Paulwell is a prominent politician. Apparently had 2 women who both had children for him. One, the more recent baby mother, so to speak. She was kidnapped by his other woman who has an 8-year-old daughter for him. And this woman flew from the United States of America to come to Jamaica and take out this woman and her child. Now, this particular one right here, we spoke about the sentencing, because it was crazy to see that the person who got charged for murder pled guilty and received a very small sentence. I believe they will serve 30 years before they're eligible for parole, and the next person involved got 7.5 years before they are eligible for parole. So the sentencing alone was something that was sickening. But we'll talk more about this case at the end of this reel, because this case was actually the biggest case out of Jamaica this year. This case shook Jamaica. This case had people looking like, where is God when you really need God? And moving on to this story now. A tragic tale. This brother hadn't been to Jamaica in a long time. Decided to come home to Jamaica, see his family, spend some time in his retirement, whatever. He had some underlying health issues. So he went off on a trail in Jamaica. The weather is beautiful. I'm going to go do some hiking. Well, he went out into the bushes and apparently he got disoriented and lost his direction and then ran out of water. And because he had diabetic issues, among other issues, health issues, he eventually ended up collapsing out there before rescue could get to him, before people could find him. He was eventually found. So on the bright side, it wasn't a murder. So we couldn't say a tourist got murdered in Jamaica. But on the sad side, it was one of those things, right? And we say RIP to him and condolences to his family. This one right here, this was our first installment of our podcast series called My Brother's Keeper. Part 1 of My Brother's Keeper was labeled Never Marry Her. And basically this is for the men. We did this on purpose. That's why it's called My Brother's Keeper. We didn't want any woman over there putting in their input. Oh, my man did this too, and men are no good and men are cheaters. We didn't want that. We wanted a safe space for the men in our audience to gather and just talk about some things, right? So this particular video right here, the first video, make sure you, especially men, go see it. It's basically a video about never marrying this type of a woman, because it all starts with our choice, who we choose. But then again, you have to be in the right frame of mind to actually choose right? No long talking. On to the next story. The next story was 50 years mandatory minimum. This is a proposal that is on the table. I believe it was finally passed into law in Jamaica, or if not, it was close to being passed into law. So they came up with a solution, so to speak, because too many people are using guns and killing, right? So maybe if we start giving them 50 years mandatory minimum, that means that's the least you can get, and the judge can't go around it, not even with a plea deal. You're getting 50 at the minimum if you kill somebody with a gun. This one right here, we had to put the information out, and hopefully some young people who are on that path can actually look now and be like, listen, I don't want to go to prison for no 50 years. So it was more like a warning and a deterrent, right? Right. Take with it and do as you will. Some will, some won't. Can't save everybody. And here we are. Gully Bop passes away. Gully Bop came, he saw, to some degree he conquered. He was a man that fought with his demons, battled life, and he lived, and he left a legacy, a story behind, something to tell, right? You know, Gully Bop stay already. Bop wasn't too mannerable. Is a quick to tell you about under your mother kind of guy, right? A lot of people said it was because of his ungratefulness and his disrespectfulness why he ended up back in the gully after making it out of the gully. Either way, Bop did what we all will do one day. And it was his time to go, and he is gone from this earth. And his funeral is sometime soon as well, which we also covered. So R.I.P. Gully Bop, and until we meet again, so to speak. Now, this one right here floored me. We're talking about the Klansman Wanda and gang leader Andre Blackman Bryan. He was sentenced to 39 years in prison. Now, his court case was really tricky and funny. But at the end of the day, Andre Blackman Bryan left no room for us to say allegedly, because he got up in court and said, there's only one done, and that is him. And he's the one that orchestrated and gave orders that were carried out, etc., etc. I was thinking they were going to give him a lengthy prison sentence. The man got 39 years. He'll probably be out in 15 to 20 of those 39 if he used to do his time, right? It wasn't life that he got, and he has to do 39. He got sentenced to 39, which more than likely will be cut in half somewhere down the road. The story of this young man, the little 9-year-old autistic boy whose mother's car was hijacked and he was taken down the street and his throat was slit and he was left there. Gabriel's mother has been non-compliant with law enforcement in Jamaica for the longest concerning her phone. She says her privacy is everything and they don't have a right to go into her phone. The investigating officers, however, they want to get into the phone because they want to know certain things or see if there's anything that could lead them possibly to who else is involved or might have been involved with the slaying of this young boy. Well, high society people get different treatment. That's the talk around this case. And finally, after much fighting, she gave them access to the phone. We're still waiting to hear what's next. Oh boy, I am masculine and feminine and everything in between. Diana King surgically removed her breast so that she can further identify better with being non-binary. I am masculine, feminine, and everything in between. Diana King also is one of the spearhead leaders of the LGBTQ movement out of the Caribbean, especially out of Jamaica. And, you know, there's so much conversation surrounding her and her transition and from Shy Guy days to now. But what can I say? That is her life to live. I'm just saying it was kind of shocking to me that she actually removed her tatas. Tatas that many people are saying were beautiful tatas that needed to stay there. But her life to live, right? All right, with that, we move on. This is not a Jamaican story or a Caribbean story, but this might be a story that many of us were interested in. The year was 1996, and the biggest artist in music, Tupac Shakur, music and entertainment, because Tupac had about 5 movies under his belt when he was killed. He was taken out. It took them till 2023 to finally say, aha, we've got the killer. We've got somebody who is responsible, because everybody else has already passed on. And it was Keefy D. Keefy D, a well-known gangbanger, Crip, self-professed shot caller, leader. Over time, he got old, so he doesn't look as menacing as before. But he kind of confessed to this over and over. And eventually, they came and they got him. Well, now, we await the outcome of his trial. And back to Jamaica again. We thought this was a reprisal. Joshy, dancehall reggae artist Joshy's brother was gunned down in Grand Spen. A lot of people were wondering if it was a reprisal. We actually titled this video Joshy Surrounded by Death because it was like people around him were dying, right? His mother allegedly had gotten into an altercation with an individual who they said Joshy confronted, and then shortly after that individual had lost his life. People thought Joshy might be responsible for that man losing his life, Romy, and people wanted reprisal because Romy was said to be some kind of a shot caller as well in the community. Don't know how true any of that is, but that was the story that dropped this year. End of it all, I noticed that Joshy left Jamaica for a while and he was breezing out the place and doing very well. And I hope he continues to do well. This one, Jamaica is not black and white. Yo, JLP, PMP, politics time again. Mark Golding did a skit with Big Stone where he had Big Stone in chains. The contrast of this is that Mark Golding, who is the leader of the opposition, the People's National Party, he's a white man, or in appearance, what we call white people. And then you had Big Stone in chains. What they were trying to say is, you're chained up under the Andrew Holness administration. But I think this one backfired on them. And a lot of people were not pleased to see Mark Golding, a white man, there touching and holding the chains that were holding or binding a black man. It didn't come off the way they thought it was going to come off. But there was much talk around that particular skit. This one right here floored me completely. We're talking about Bobby Lights. Bobby Lights is openly gay. Bobby Lights, he bridges the gap, the line between male and female. You understand? He is of the LGBTQ community and very proud of it. Bobby Lights is the kind of person who people would say to you, them kind of people that can't go to Jamaica, you know, because man will hurt them. Yeah, they'll run them down and chop them up or shoot them or something. Bobby Lights proved in 2023 that that is a long gone idea of the days of how Jamaica was or is. Jamaica is no longer like that, my friend. Nobody is going to run you down, chop you up or anything because the people are out looking just like Bobby Lights, men in makeup and that are very effeminate in their actions, right? So this year, 2023, the bamboo rafting in Jamaica thing was very big. A lot of women flew down to Jamaica, especially from like Canada and the United States of America, to get their bodies rubbed down while laying on a raft in Jamaica on the river. And Bobby Lights went down there too, and he was on those rafts. And I was saying to myself, I wonder if I'm going to rub down Bobby Lights. I want to see who's going to be brave enough to give him a massage. Because you know there would be a backlash to that if anyone did. Well, apparently nobody did. However, Bobby turned up on the river, made his videos, came, never had a problem, said he enjoyed Jamaica, and he left Jamaica in one piece, right? So, again, that dispels that rumor about Jamaica being the most homophobic place on earth. This video right here, this one was just, I want y'all to remember that we be in Jamaica a lot, right? And even though we didn't do multiple trips this year and all that, we do be there a lot. So it's important to like take in the scenery and all these things and show people what they might be missing and all these things, right? And share through vlogs when we go into the beautiful island of Jamaica, and so some people can enjoy it too. Seeing through our videos, those who are not able to actually go there themselves. So we do these kind of videos, vlogs in between and whatever. And there is Shakira's YouTube, which is Shakira Sphere, and you can go there, click, subscribe, and engage her content. Seeing? All right, moving right along. This one hit me hard. This is one of the big stories out of Jamaica for the year. This was a family that was wiped out by gunmen. And apparently, what they said was that this shot was called from overseas for whatever the reason might have been. You know, the same gun story. Sad all the way around. This one right here now, this is caught in Jamaica and extradited. This picture right here, if you look at the picture, you will see the victim to your right. That is the man that she killed. The headlines in the United States of America said, mother of four extradited from Jamaica, or mother of four wanted for murder found in Jamaica was the first one. The second one says mother of four wanted for murder found in Jamaica extradited to the United States of America to face charges. So basically, the U.S. had people on the ground and they worked with the Jamaican authorities on the ground to locate this woman who allegedly had committed murder in the U.S. and had ran away back to Jamaica. Guess what though? She had a man in Jamaica too. So it's not like she couldn't get man, right? Kill one and move on to the next one. Anyways, we'll follow this one throughout 2024 to see when she goes to trial and how much time she will be given in the U.S. Now, this story, an 84-year-old senior citizen confesses to double murder after killing his wife and his wife's caregiver. Wait till you hear why he did it. At 84 years old, you would think, nah, that not gonna happen. Because 84, you know, what kind of bun could you be thinking about? Like getting bun, getting cheated on. This is where this came from. So what was released to the news media was that this 84-year-old man, the caregiver, he believed, had a brother. And the brother of the caregiver was spending too much time around his wife or coming around his wife. So he started to feel like his wife, which I believe is 83 or so years old, close to his age, he thought his wife was giving away something. And the caregiver was the one that was facilitating it. So after he took the life of his wife, who is also in her 80s, he traveled to the caregiver's house and took the life of the caregiver as well, as far as I remember how that story went, right? If you want to hear the real story, just type in the same heading you see right here on YouTube and go and look up the story, and we have more up-to-date information in that video that we covered. I just thought the story was wild though, and it's one of the more jarring ones of the year. This right here, my friend. Oh, what tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. This is the Jamaican that is a married man that was living in the United States of America. And, you know, you get a little opportunity to come out abroad and you're supposed to come exploit and take advantage of opportunities and build a better life for yourself and all these things. Well, apparently he was doing that, but he was doing that a little bit too well, because he had a woman on the side. Now, having a woman on the side is one thing, but when you lie and say you are single, and this woman, after shifting her panties for you, found out that you actually are a married man and you have you have an actual spouse, she gets enraged. This woman said, I am going to tell his wife all about us and what he has been doing. He gave her wrong name, wrong place, address. She didn't know him at all. She was in love with somebody who she thought was somebody who was available for her, and he wasn't. So at the end of the day, she tried to blackmail him, said, I'm going to tell your wife, and he ended up taking her life. You know, satellite footage, video footage, everything showed him in action doing certain things, and him locked up right now in Texas. The Beachy Stout trial is one of those trials that it has been so long, since 2019, 2020, that now 2023, as the trial is going on, not too many people are paying attention to it. It take too long. But we discovered that there is cell phone info conversations, about 120 of them, allegedly, with the contracted killer discussing killing Beachy's wife with him and Beachy on the phone. We're still waiting for those to be played, but those are one of the ones that are going to actually play out in 2024, right? They found the acid as it was described in the bottle, and now they have the conversations on the phone. It looks like it could be one where he might not be able to get off from this case. Seeing? Right. Moving right along now. Here we are. Some people are saying, who is the dancehall artist of the year? But we're not worried about the year. You know, Vybz Kartel is the kind of artist that is years ahead, right? So while they're now still worrying about who is the dancehall artist of the year, quiet as kept. Vybz Kartel was awarded the artist of the decade. And I did this picture just like this to show you who else was on the list that he had to compete with for that title. And you had the giant Mavado, and you had the giant Beanie Man, and you had the giant Bounty Killer, and you have the young giant Chronix. Now, that was the pool from which the outstanding one would be picked. And Vybz Kartel, at the first staging of the CMA, which is the Caribbean Music Awards, he was given that award, Artist of the Decade. To the Caribbean Music Awards, I hope it becomes huge and get big like the Grammys and these kinds of awards, BET Music Awards, so that we can celebrate our own thing and say we have our own thing. You know, it's always funny when you have to depend on other people to gauge how good your stuff is doing and wait for their awards. It's nice to have our own, created by us, for us, and validated by us. Big up Kartel. This one was one of the stories of the year. Woke up one morning, 400 Jamaican school teachers resigned in a 11-day period in 2023. And this was leading up to the opening of school. You know, you have summer break, and then after summer vacation, the kids go back to school. Right. So getting ready to prepare to go back to school, all these teachers started leaving, resigning and defecting, going overseas. Ghana, England got teach, went to Canada, the US, wherever they wanted, except for Jamaica. And those who are still there were protesting. Where is the livable wage? I remember one teacher said, I want to own a car too. I've been teaching for years. I'm still have to take public transportation. Another one said, I want to own my house too. Right now I'm in jeopardy of being evicted. Bad business. This story right here, this was a story about Medic, a dancehall artist slash businesswoman. If you let her mother tell it, she is a businesswoman first and she don't know her daughter for dancehall. Even though Medic in the dancehall circle had big songs out there with big artists like Shano and like others, right? Javalani and some others. Anyhow, she went missing, vanished, poof, gone. It was said that some gangster guy behind bars is probably responsible for this. That was the last thing the Jamaica Constabulary Force put out, that they were investigating that angle of information. Her mother, who put out $500,000 to find her daughter, had doubled it to $1 million, which is still on the table. The last update we had was that somebody swindled the family out of about $250,000, pretending to know where this young lady is, and they lost that money. However, the reward is still on the table for anybody who can help to have her family get some knowledge of her whereabouts or to find her. Medic is gone. Poof, vanished. This year we got to see Jamaica Constabulary Force, which is the police in Jamaica, in action. They were in Vybz Kartel's, should I say, baby mother, ex-common law wife. Everybody knows Shorty, right? Shorty is the mother of Kartel's boys, and two of them is seen in this picture right here. The video that caused us to do this video was a video of the police officers in the house laughing and joking with each other, like, while Shorty was there in distress. And she was saying, where is the warrant? Like, y'all just come into my house, you don't even have a warrant, and hanging out at the gate all the time. Like, they're circling them. So that's why we put the headline that says they are targeted. If you know the relationship with Vybz Kartel as far as the system goes, and his trumped up charges and the life sentence, and then to see his children out here doing so well in life after decade plus behind bars, it's kind of like they're coming for him. Matter of fact, in the same week, one of his sons was seen accosted on the side of the road next to a white Mercedes Benz, and the police was hauling and pulling him in pants wedge up so far, right? So they are targeted. And then Vybz Kartel again in our news. This one right here for all the fans of Popcorn and Vybz Kartel, or the fans of Empire/Gaza, who had not seen Vybz Kartel and Popcorn work together in over a decade, were pleased to see Dull Color. Dull Color was not only a song, a video was also made for it, and it speaks to the plight of the ghetto youths or underprivileged in Jamaica and the struggles they have to face with law enforcement and with just the system in itself designed in a way that is not conducive to their success. So it's a fight, right? And you can go look up Vybz Kartel Popcorn Dull Color on YouTube and watch the actual music video they had to this. Again, this was their first time working together on anything in over a decade. So fans were really looking forward to this type of material, especially since them used to think say bad blood is there, right? Rumors were being spread about Kartel put out hit on Popcorn and miss and all kind of something. But this kind of shows that all the rumors you're hearing in the background is just rumors and noise in the background. They're very much still intact. This one I had to speak about. Living in the United States of America and being black can be dangerous to your health. In this video, I actually said I've never had to experience something like this in Jamaica. A young boy who happens to be of Jamaican heritage, his father came out to save him. He went to put the garbage out and was surrounded by police officers with guns drawn in multiple vehicles. And of course, his father had to go out there and say, "What are y'all doing? This is my little son." And of course, they gave the excuse that he looked suspicious and he looked like some suspect that they were called on the radio, said he was out robbing people and breaking into cars and something like that. Whatever, end of the day, the conversation came down to life in Jamaica versus life in the USA. And we were comparing and contrasting. If you want to see that video, go and look it up. This is the icon. Just put in life in Jamaica or life in JA versus life in USA, Souflotv, a kid taking out the trash. Then you'll see the dynamics, because we had to weigh all the good and the bad and all that, right? Life of foreign no easy, end of the day. Now, this particular one right here, a friend in need is a friend indeed. That's an old saying from our people. But check it. When I discovered this story, I had to cover this story because there was a plane that was heading to Jamaica with 41 individuals on it who the UK said was no longer welcomed in the UK and no longer fit to live there. So them did I get deported. These Caucasian individuals with the arrows pointing to them, they used their bodies. They laid in the street where the bus leaving from the detention center to go put the people on the plane was supposed to drive. The buses could not leave. The flight schedule got messed up. the flight could not take off. As a result of their doing, about 38 of the 41 people are still in the UK today, and they were able to get lawyers, fight their case out, and get their situations together, and they are all in good standing now. I believe the number is 37 to 38. So in essence, they saved a whole 40 something, a plane load of people who were supposed to be deported, but got saved. All right. Maybe I shouldn't be talking so long about this one. So this year I saw the birthday of my daughter, which is Nika. A lot of you who've been following me for years have seen this little baby girl grow up, and she is getting big now. Nika is 9 years old, right? And we saw her birthday this year, and her birthday was held at her grandmother's house, and everybody was there. We actually didn't think so many people was going to show up, and a lot of people show up, and she had a lot of fun. So shout out to all the people who showed up for that. And when I say people, I mean children. This wasn't a birthday party where a beer big people did it. We're celebrating a child's birthday. This was one that was really properly children that she knows from school that came and celebrated with her. As you can see in the picture, there were lots of gifts and stuff like that. You know, things that you would want to see or do for your baby girl kind of thing. Them say father and daughter have a different kind of bond, or, you know, good men are a certain kind of way when it comes to their daughter. And I think I'm that way with mines. I don't know what the lesson is. Take care of your picnic them. Stay close to them. Be in their lives, I guess. That's what the message was. Anyways, happy birthday, baby girl. And we move on. All right. Now we come back to this one. Religion or cult. You know, Jamaica is not having this. Not after Kevin Smith. So there's a particular religious or cult-like group in Jamaica that everybody has their eyes on. They've been raided multiple times. However, this time when they were raided, the leader was also taken in. Previously, they had raided the facility and took away all the children. People in the community are complaining that these people seem very strange and they're moving weird, and they might not have running water and and flush toilet or sanitary conditions up there. So law enforcement went in, and it is now a claim that they found that the children were being abused and young girls were being groomed to be wives of the older men who were there. I believe some as young as 13 and so on, those kind of ages, right? So they removed the children, and I guess the children are talking more because they conducted another raid after, and they removed the leader of the group as well. We're still waiting to hear, though, what the outcome is or was. And this is going to be an interesting case, but nothing yet. Now, this video right here that we did, we were kind of in shock because we did just talk to Sicka Rhymes not too long ago, and then boom, Sicka Rhymes is incarcerated in the UK. Now, when we heard the news that Sicka was incarcerated in the UK, the first thing I said was, for what? What did he do? Because I know he probably wouldn't jeopardize himself like that. Well, that young lady who you see next to him right there, that's Sicka Rhymes' wifey. Yes. And she come and bust out the secret them. Or her allegations. I don't know if it's true what she said. But she said she was beaten. She said he is very possessive. And he is very disrespectful. And he's very abusive, both physically and verbally. She said that he is a nobody because Vybz Kartel is the Gaza, or that movement. He is just a person attached to it. She's the one who used her money to make him look good, put him in a luxury car, have him living in a nice place, do all these kind of things, and that he's really broke, right? She said she will tell more later. I don't remember if she said she had to write a book, or she said she will do a video vlogs, but we're waiting to hear the more. In the meantime, Sicka Rhymes is incarcerated doing his time, and I think when his time is done, The question is, will he be deported back to Jamaica? Alright, so brother here, so no. Too much fun in Jamaica. And he never made it back to the UK. Jamaica nice, but you have to be careful. This person was not probably, we were told he was staying, as the story went, in an all-inclusive place. That means all your drinks for free. It comes with your package. And this place had 21 cocktails. 21 different cocktails, drinks. That means the drinks, they mix up, and apparently they're mixed up very strong. You can drink as much as you want. Well, this brother tell himself, say, he's going to finish 21 cocktails in a 24-hour period. Now, if you know anything about alcohol consumption and the body weight and the human body, you know right away that this was going to be tragic. And apparently, it turned out that that's what it was. Drink too much, went to his room, said he was going to lay down, chill a little bit, come back later and drink the rest to make his goal of 21 cocktails in 24 hours. And he just did not make it. They said he laid down, him vomit, him dead in his vomit, asphyxiated or choked on his vomit, and all kind of something like that. Message, be careful and know your limits. That part. I thought this video right here was something to speak about. So here we go again. Vybz Kartel again. Pushing the boundaries again. I always wonder, and I ask myself, he's incarcerated. So how come he's making all these videos? Go and watch any of Vybz Kartel music videos since his incarceration. None of them are mediocre. All the videos are videos that I'm saying, why don't these other artists out here work with the same people that Kartel work with and get some good video for their songs? Well, apparently some of them have been, because the videos for dancehall have gotten better, but this one broke the barrier. We are in the age now of AI, artificial intelligence, right? And look at Vybz Kartel, even though he's behind bars, incorporating artificial intelligence into his art. When I first saw the video, and I'm gonna say, yo, Russian them went behind bars for shoot this with him, or what? And did they permit that in a prison in Jamaica? But it turns out that's not what it was, right? And it wasn't him in the video. If you look at it long enough, you will see that it is AI generated. However, it was so realistic, and it was the first time I had seen it done in a dance hall video. So we can stick that too to the calendar as one of the first. This story right there, so now, behave yourself when you go foreign. A Jamaican crew on a robbery spree in the USA was caught and sentenced. If you're gonna rob anywhere in the world, the last place you should think of robbing is a tech store. Technology store. That's anybody with common sense would rob anywhere else but a tech store. So what they would do was they'll go in the tech store and they would scoop up all the cameras and especially the phones. And the latest iPhones was their thing. They had a whole bunch of them. But those things are trackable. So of course here comes the police and they're speeding down the street, and as you can see in this video right here, that is the actual car that they crashed in on the highway in the United States of America before they were taken into custody. You know how American police love trace you down anyways. You go 100 miles per hour, they driving 100 miles per hour too, right? In most places. So they did a pit maneuver on the car. A pit maneuver is where they hit the back side of the car while you're going at whatever speed you're going at, and it's supposed to spin your car out of control. Well, if you're flying, you're flipping. Yeah. And then one of the biggest stories of this year, 2023, was sad, but it went down. Daughter of famous Jamaican gunned down by her baby daddy in the USA. This one, we're talking about Ricky Trooper's daughter. Ricky Trooper, dancehall, reggae music, selector, Ricky Trooper. one of the greatest to ever do it, legendary Ricky Trooper. His daughter lost her life under these conditions at the hands of her man or her ex-man, but is the father of, I believe, her child. See? And I don't know, people were looking for him. A lot of people were saying, damn, what kind of boy this she got pick up? And look how him look and all this. I believe he is older than her significantly as well. And people were saying a lot of nasty things, you know, like them girl there, a gunman them love, and a boy there's a gunman and all that. We here at Souflotv, we don't know any of that information. Me don't know him, so I can't come and tell you he's a gunman, and nobody ever told me that. What I do know is that she and him had a relationship at some point, evident by a child coming out of the relationship. And she lost her life, right? At the hands of, I would say, another tender dick man. Yeah, that way. This video right here, I did this video like an emergency. Let me explain this to you quickly. So, you're in Jamaica, right? You see, if you're in Jamaica as a man, we look like a foreigner, and you come down with a thick accent like you come from England, you know what I mean? And you got a couple of pounds on you and all that, and you here to have some fun. The girls them will fling out, dash out. With Jamaica, what that mean is, them give a pum pum quick. Because there are a lot of girls there who think that money is associated with a foreigner. So this brother right here, HIV positive, living with it, deported from the UK to Jamaica, only to be extradited back to the UK after it was proven that he was giving out STD called HIV on purpose, shot people, but not with a gun. He actually got sent back to the UK from Jamaica. They found him, and when he was in Jamaica, apparently he had many girls while he was there. So we did the video as a PSA, asking our audience to view it. And if you see this man, might have been a man that you had been in touch with. If you were one of those kinds of ladies, I don't know, I'm not judging you. I just wanted them to go and get tested, because he is HIV positive, right? And then another one, out of England again. This brother did a story how he did his time in the UK. He wasn't crying. He said he committed a murder many years ago, and he got sent to prison for it in the UK. And he did his time, and he was remorseful, and he is a remodeled citizen. And then when the opportunity came for him to get released, they said to him, you're getting deported to Jamaica. Now, here's the kicker. This man is not Jamaican. Seeing? So, they deported him to Jamaica, and he is not a Jamaican. Now, he said he saw the foul up, but he thought to himself, I've been in prison all these years. Jamaica could not be any worse than this. Matter of fact, in my mind, I'm thinking nice beach, good food, nice people and vibes and all that. I'll fit right in. Until he went to Jamaica and hard life lick him. Then him start bawl out, hello, come get me. I'm not from here. And he described how he survived there while he was there, sleeping on the floor of somebody cook shop, and have to wake up in the morning and clean up the place and gut and scale fish and these kind of things, and it was rough for him. But he is back in the UK now. See it? Alright. Alright. This one right here is another one out of the UK. Somebody said to me, by the way, why you take like the worst video from the UK? I don't know if y'all noticed that I have a large UK following, and therefore I do shows or videos catering to them. This particular video, just seeing her face, the lady's face, everybody who had something to say about her said she was like the sweetest person you could ever meet. Anyways, the backstory to that. The man that is standing behind her was said to be a man who was deported from the United States of America first for the same domestic violence issues. And then, guess what? A woman fly down to Jamaica from the UK and saw him and said she wanted the tall, dark chocolate, handsome man for herself, married him and took him to the UK. and he ended up killing her. That is why it says if he had stayed in Jamaica, she would still be alive today. If you want to hear the full story and what was put out by the police in the UK and their news media, then go watch the video on our channel, Souflotv, right here. But the lesson of the day for this is be careful who you file for and bring go foreign. Remember, want to see how long I've been telling this? And the flip side is be careful who file for you and bring you go. This is not no Jamaican news, but Cardi B took Tasha K, a YouTuber, to court for defamation of character and won millions of dollars. By the way, that's Cardi B's actual house behind her in this picture. So them have money. But back to this. This case set the precedents all across the board, not just in the US, but everywhere YouTube is streamed. So once Cardi B got successful at winning this, guess what happened? A lot of other YouTubers are now being sued. Even in Jamaica recently, a social media couple sued and won their case. So the end of the day, the message is this. You can no longer do your YouTube videos and make up stuff about people that are defamatory just so you can get views. You have to come with the real story and some substance behind it, or else you risk losing your whole channel that you work hard to build. But bigger than that, you risk losing a lot of money because people can take you to court, hold you liable for what's said, sue you, and actually win the case. And that is why I did a story on this, covering it. Not because it's the girls, but because of the principles of the story. Pastor Christie, otherwise called Muma, the Lone Ranger, the one and only female of the Klansman Wandan gang, was found guilty. Yep. Andre Blackman Bryan, who's behind her in this picture right here, he was found guilty as well. But Mama Christie was the one we were talking about. She was found guilty, but she wasn't found guilty of murder. She was found, even though she was accused of orchestrating murders, she was not found guilty of murders. She was found guilty of being a member of a criminal organization. That's it. This is the same woman. Look upon Mama Christie. Mama Christie look holier than thou art. Yes, but this is the same woman who it was proven that she's married to a pastor herself. But yet she had sexual relations with who would be listed as probably one of, if not the most dangerous man on the island. Gangster to her thing. And she have her pastor husband at home. It is said that when JCF went to go pick up Mama Christie, she was right outside the church and her actual husband was being ordained. She asked the police officer, "Can I just watch the ordination and then you can take me?" And the policeman said, "No, come on, let's go." And she couldn't watch it. This video right here, as you can see, this is Jamaica. This is me. We went to Jamaica. We laid my grandfather to rest. Funny enough, laid my grandfather to rest, who is my mother's father, in this picture and this video, which you can find on the channel. And then as I'm doing this video, speaking right now, doing the voiceover, I just laid my other grandfather to rest, which is my father's father, just yesterday, the 30th of December 2023. So I have no living grandparents anymore. All my grandparents have left Earth. But in this video, if you want to watch the video, what you will see is, yeah, you'll see members of my family. You'll see Jamaica. You will see tradition. You will see how we do a funeral for anybody who is curious as to how funerals are done in Jamaica, and or how Jamaican people move about. I mean, there are lots of videos about that now, but if you want to see from Souflotv's perspective, then go right ahead and watch the video, please. Right, in remembrance of my grandfather, a great man that nothing bad can be said about. And I hope that my legacy somebody will be saying the same thing too. A great man. Vybz Kartel. Again, Vybz Kartel case had went to the Privy Council and his application was denied, and a lot of people, especially, so Kartel have a whole lot of enemies out here. But with a lot of enemies comes a lot of fans as well, right? Right, or with a lot of fans comes a lot of enemies as well. Some people will hate you just because a lot of other people like you. Anyhow, they were rejoicing. They were saying, yes, the Privy Council deny him. Now him have to stay in a prison in Jamaica forever. Vybz Kartel's case goes to the Privy Council February of 2024. It has already been announced. So, this is what we were trying to explain to the audience in this video right here. What exactly was it that was denied? And we were trying to tell them that it was not his whole case that was denied by the Privy Council. It was one application to submit one particular thing. That's it. The case was still before the Privy Council, still about to be reviewed, and now, update later, a bag of things happened. Paula Llewellyn Carey, Isaac Buchanan go to court. He was suspended from practicing. He regained the ability to practice. He is in the UK. He's getting ready to take care of Kartel's case at Privy Council. Them kind of something there. Big bomb drop. This year. So much went on this year. It's funny looking at this picture right here. To the far right corner, that's Beachy Stout and his wife that he was accused of killing. And then the rest of the people in here, minus me, is Beachy Stout's son, Andre MacDonald, in court. And that female over there in the white dress is Andreen MacDonald, his wife, who he is accused of killing. Well, bun without cheese. This particular video was one of the videos, or the video, where we got the information. For those of us who were following the case, Andre was sentenced this year in the United States of America. 20 years in prison first, plus 5 more years for what he did to her corpse. So that's 25 years that he will have to do before he is eligible for parole in the prison system in the US. Right? And ironically, his father is now before the courts in Jamaica. But it's the details that came out in this video, bun without cheese, that had a lot of people switching their allegiance and saying, no man, now that we know the truth, me feel sorry for him instead of for her. Go watch that video and you'll see why. This one right here was a sad story. This brother went to Jamaica from the UK to go lay his mother to rest and ended up losing his life in the process. Imagine you're going home and you're saying, okay, mama pass, so we're gonna make sure she get a good send-off, a nice funeral, pretty casket, all these things. And you go there and you yourself end up getting killed. 2 of his relatives are in custody. And I believe one of them is his brother and the other one must be a cousin or something like that. But the thing is, the mother had left behind properties, houses, and they were trying to figure out who gets what. So it was said that they had been feuding over the land and property, houses, and his brother said, you don't live here. And when mama's sick and need help, you not nowhere around here. But it was also said that the mom who passed away, she also had to run out of that house not too long ago naked because one of them family members was threatening to chop her up in there. So she passed away. Land dead left argument start. Brother man got killed and could not return to the UK. Instead, funeral. This video right here, this one inside new prison built in Jamaica. I suggest you go take a look at it. Some people might call it nice in there. I don't know how they can call it nice in there. All I see is concrete and steel. And I can't imagine how it's going to look when it start getting dirty and nasty in there, because I know they're not going to be constantly cleaning it and painting it over to make it look nice, right? Once them start pack people in there, problems. But in Jamaica, they were working on having a what they call a high-tech prison, and they were saying that it's already in motion, and they showed the video. So I wanted people in Jamaica to see the video so you know where you're going, or you have an idea of where you're going to be locked up at, and you can reason with yourself and say, you know what, me no want to go in somewhere will look like that, cause beer steel door back a steel door back a steel door, and you're locked in these little concrete tombs, whatnot. So that is why we did this video. It was titled "Message to Every Gunman, Bad Man, Gun Bag, and Bad Gal." Yeah, cause more than likely, if it ain't grave, dirt is in here, so you're ending up. So again, new year, you might want to change your ways. Seeing, you might want to change your ways. And again, another one of these stories. The cop killer with 16 subjects. This story was kind of heartbreaking because, the losses. It was loss all around. R.I.P. to Corporal Oliver Mullings. Corporal Oliver Mullings was said to have been killed by the young man in this picture. This young man's brother is actually a subscriber of Souflotv. He hasn't called in a while, but he used to call in on a regular basis. And he called in one morning and he said, "Souflo, I see you do a video on my brother." And they gave us the story. Brilliant guy. He was also in the church. And then he wanted to be a police officer as well. But apparently, when he was going through his recruiting phase, they sent a police officer into his community to ask people what they think about him. And some of his neighbors who didn't like him told the police that he's no good. Don't put him in. And they said based on that, he didn't make it in. He felt like his dreams were dashed. 16 subjects and nothing on Guan for him. So him start follow bad company and take up the gun. And eventually ended up taking the life of a police officer as well. So it was kind of a tragic tale, how things can go bad kind of thing. And it did go bad with 2 lives lost. Now this one showed you that there are different laws in Jamaica for different people. Caught at the airport with $90 million worth of cocaine, and he was immediately given $700,000 bail. This is the brother of a top politician that was caught at the airport with cocaine. When I did the story, I got to realize that his story was that I'm gravely ill, anyways, sick, can't even walk, need to be under medical care 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week. That kind of like a common thing that goes on in Jamaica. If you look back, you'll see people like the attorney Masado, who took Mavado's money. That woman went to court and boo-booed doo-doo up herself, and basically that contributed to her not being behind bars, because the judge says, well, we don't have any medical facility behind bars and you look like you need help 24/7, so you get to be on house arrest. It became a trending thing, like this is something you can actually do, which I believe is what this man actually did and got away with getting caught with $90 million of cocaine. But it also tells you who is trafficking heavily, don't it? Right. This story now. A physical fitness trainer out of the UK went to Jamaica, and this is the first time I believe he was in Jamaica, and he was going to hook up with his father's side of the family, because he knows his dad, but his dad lives in the UK and his dad's family is in Jamaica. So this is the first time for him to go see his other siblings and see his cousins and grandparents on that side and all these other things. And the headline says British tourist shot 12 times. His first visit to Jamaica wasn't a good look for Jamaica. But we always say something in a something. So they went and looked and dig and did research, and apparently somebody from the UK called a hit on him for whatever dealings he was into. There's one story out that he was an enforcer for some drug dealer in the UK, and he might have had beat up a man really badly back in the day at the request of the drug dealer he was an enforcer for, and then they call a shot on him coming back to Jamaica. I don't know how true that story is because I never verified it. However, all the details of what happened to him in Jamaica, how it was carried out, who else was around him, is definitely in this video. If you want to know, you can go watch that video. And one of the more salacious stories of the year now. Why was the doctor in the park that late at night? Turns out, the man you see to your right is the man who took the life of the doctor who you see to your left. The doctor you see to your left is also a Jamaican that was a prominent doctor in the United States of America. And he was taken out at weird hours in a particular park. Now, when we went and did our research, we found out that in that particular park, there is a certain section of the park where homosexual men go to have illicit sex with each other. I kid you not. There's a park like that in Brooklyn as well, and I used to go jogging in the park. And I'll never forget one morning, I jogged past this spot, and I noticed like a whole heap of used condom pile up in one place, and a whole heap of doo-doo next to the condom them. And I was like, that's friggin' weird and nasty, and I didn't know what it was. And I come to find out it was a similar situation where the gay men would gather there, have illicit sex. Some of them are married men who like to engage in sex with other men. So the rumor now is that this is what this doctor was into, and it cost him his life. But go watch the full video to get the full strength. Now, here we have Beachy Stout's son, Andre McDonald. This year, Andre McDonald was tried in a court of law in the United States of America in Texas, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison plus 5 more years. So that's 25 years in prison before he's eligible for parole. And he actually, well, I don't know if it's before he's eligible for parole. I think it's 25 years, and on good behavior, those 25, correct, are going to be cut in half. So whatever half of 25 is, he'll probably be out in about 12, 13 years. This is the story right here that have everybody on his wife's side, Andreen, until the details came out in the case. However, this video was about him being sentenced, and boy, him look like him father, don't it? Him look like Beachy. But that case came to an end. I don't want to say too much more about that case because I don't want to demonize Andreen. She died under horrific circumstances regardless, even if she instigated and brought it upon herself. But I don't want to add insult to injury. It wasn't good all the way around. People were getting played and played with, and then things backfired. Shooting at a gospel concert in Manchester leaves 5 people injured. You know, the first time we did a video about a killing in Jamaica around any church, anything, it was a person who was killed behind a church, and then the body was brought to the church building, and they leaned the body up on the church. And I said in that video, which was years ago, I said, the next thing, they're going to start killing people in the church them. Well, we've had quite a few of those since I said that. Some people say, Souflotv, stop saying these things because word get out there and, become reality. But my words don't have anything to do with it. If they kill people behind the church, it's just a matter of time before they would do it inside. Now, to see headlines coming out of Jamaica that says a gospel concert, 5 people shot at a gospel concert, at least 5 injured. Many people more were shot, I believe, but it says 5 injured, right? Nobody has any reverence anymore, over which part the woman them and the man them beat tambourine and sing. That's the last place people used to turn their guns. Not anymore. Pastor preaching on the pulpit can get shot today. But that's to show you where we are now as a society. Right? Right. Now look at this. I'm going to let this sit here for a while because there's so much going on in this one right here. Our biggest story of the year is right here to your right. A wicked act. But we're going to talk about that wicked act in a minute, right? Because such a wicked act it was. But then you have more Haitians arrive in Jamaica. Today is December 31st, 2023. Shout out to Miss Kitty. Big up yourself. Miss Kitty is married because I know she's pregnant, baby on the way, and all these things. And we covered all these in this one video. Speak particularly about the Haitians coming to Jamaica. Today, December 31st, 2023, as we're about to bring in the new year, you see the colonial mindset and the brainwashing still in our Jamaican people. This morning, a group of Cubans made it aboard, came to land in Jamaica, illegal entry. You know, there are a lot of Jamaicans that are saying, keep them. They're probably all well educated and nice people. But when the Haitians came, the same Jamaicans said, send them back. They're probably all killers and them carry disease and obia. I want you to do with that as you will. And we'll talk more about that later on after we celebrate New Year's. Now look at this picture and the irony of this picture. A story we covered this year because son was sentenced. That's all the way to your left. His wife, who is next to him, Andreen, is dead at his hands. And then the lady next to her is dead at the hands of the man in the red hat, who is the man in the white shirt father. We're talking about Beachy Stout and his son and their two wives. The irony of this is that these two young ladies were actually friends in real life. That part. And ended up marrying father and son. Right? With that said, both young women were also, how should I say it, unfaithful, mischievous, so to speak, and they both suffered the same demise at the hands of their husbands. The father, which is Beachy Stout, is now on trial. His trial will carry forth into 2024. As of lately, things are not looking good for him because of things that they have uncovered. But that's Jamaica, and we will see where that goes. I just thought how ironic. Tanya and Andreen were friends. Now for the biggest story of this year. Oh my God. This story right here, boy, if this story doesn't break your heart or make you feel some kind of way, then you probably don't have a heart or you're not human. We're talking about the Philip Paulwell story. We're talking about Leota Bradshaw, the petty officer from the U.S. Navy who confronted Mr. Philip Paulwell's other woman on Facebook. And then when she blocked her, the woman within 24 hours was in Jamaica planning her demise. The crazy thing is she actually went through with it. The details about how it happened is so gruesome. Both mother and daughter, Tashina Patterson and Soraya Paulwell, were executed and their bodies burnt. Leota Bradshaw is in police custody. If you look at this picture, she don't look like that type of person, right? Looks can definitely be deceiving. A lot of people are still saying, yo, that politician is involved. I don't think so. But it is what it is. Right. So at this point, this story takes the cake for the biggest story out of Jamaica for 2023. Now, as we move into 2024, big up to everybody. Thank you for tuning into the channel. And we hope you have a prosperous new year and I hope all your dreams come through in 2024. Thank you for supporting Souflotv TV. And we'll have you in 2024 to do all the stories for you again. Remember, this right here is not all the stories we covered. These were just the headliners. Alright? Big up on yourself and Happy New Year.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? Let's go! Hey! Yeah, this is my life, my strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?